the CRTC, Canada's telecommunications regulator, has hired a private engineering firm to investigate that massive Rogers outage in July 2022. It left more than 10 million customers without cell phone and internet access, some of them for more than 24 hours. It was our Marina von Stackelberg who has this story. Marina, you have a great story online, but tell us here what the company that was hired is doing.
Yeah, so the CRTC this spring has confirmed to CBC News it contracted this private engineering firm called Zona Partners. And it wants this firm to help the CRTC decide whether further regulatory action is needed. So they are asking this company to do a forensic investigation to find out what went wrong in the Rogers outage and whether or not the measures that the company has taken since the outage would prevent something like this from happening in the future. They want this company to review its network, talk to employees, and visit its operating centers in Toronto. Now, we made multiple requests for more information about this contract, and then late this morning, we did get a price tag from CRTC. It has spent $230,000 to get this company to do this work for them. The report for this, the CRTC says, is due this fall and that it will be made public.
And what about reaction, Marina? Anything so far?
I spoke to two lawyers to get more information, or rather two lawyers who are trying to get more information about this outage from the CRTC and Rogers. They say that the CRTC could have acted sooner and on its own to do a probe. Have a listen.
It's kind of like sending in investigators after the body is cold. We can't see how that engineering firm is doing its work. We also don't know if the eventual report will be made public or redacted or mostly confidential or partly confidential. And I think the public would like to know just what occurred at Rogers that could lead to such a large outage all at once.
Now, after the outage happened, CRTC did order Rogers to provide more information about the outage, but a lot of that detail has been redacted. One of the lawyers that I was speaking to says he's trying to get more information on the 911 calls. Now, if you remember, people didn't just lose internet service and cell phone service, but some weren't able to call 911. Now, Rogers will say it can't give that kind of detail because it might open up their network to bad actors. And it says a lot of the information that it's redacted about the outage is because of trade secrets. But critics that I spoke to say that this whole investigation into what happened has been shrouded in secrecy.
Rogers just sort of invokes these safety concerns in a very broad manner to prevent disclosure of really basic information, like how many 911 calls were disrupted. And the secrecy around these files, it serves Rogers' interest and it serves the CRTC's interest because it helps avoid accountability and responsibility. And at some point, the idea is that it fades far enough into the past that Canadians forget about it.
Rogers has said that it is cooperating with the CRTC and it has made significant improvements to its network since the outage. Now, the regulator, for now, has put in temporary rules around outage reporting. So essentially right now, if there is an outage of more than 100,000 people for a number of hours, the telecom provider has to report that to the CRTC. But the CRTC just has those as temporary measures. It's going through a very large consultation process right now, but critics I spoke to say this is taking far too long and that the CRTC needs to take this as an urgent matter, especially as we see potentially in the future more Canadians losing access to their cell phone or internet as more natural disasters become more common.
Okay, Marina von Stackelberg, great job on this story, and you can read more on CBCNews.ca. Thanks, Marina.
Thanks.